What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some more r/am I, the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, because there is a little bit today, please use the timestamps below. But if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too. And I just got a huge thank you to a new member who joined us on YouTube yesterday, Shannon Hawthorne. Thank you so much for joining us. It really does mean the world. And Fred Gomez for the rejoin. Always good to see you, Fred. You know that. And I just want to say a huge thank you. I was just looking through the member list and I can't believe, so many people still with us and so many people have been with us for over a year. Can you believe it's been a year already since membership started, and so many more on the verge of being here for a year as well. So thank you so much for your constant support. I cannot tell you how much of a difference you truly make to this channel, and you really do. So thank you so much for everything you're doing. And as always, there's never any pressure to become a member or continue being a member. And with that being said, thank you so much for just spending 20 minutes or so with me on the daily and getting involved with the channel. It means the absolute world and it changes things massively. So thank you so much for being absolute legends. Let's crack on with today's stories. Much love, guys. Now, this first story is a bit of an old one, but it had an update just recently, so we're going to cover that story and then go to the update. So the story is called, Am I the Arsehole for being upset that my ex-husband fed our vegan daughter chicken McNuggets? My ex and I were vegan. I became vegan when we moved in together because he was vegan and he didn't like there being animal products in the house. I learned more about the way food was made and I agreed. I was vegan while I was pregnant and we've raised our daughter vegan for the past 8-ish years. We divorced 15 months ago. He was not faithful, but while he was a terrible partner to me, he loves his daughter, and during this time I've tried to be a good co-parent. Yesterday, I picked up my daughter from her dad's house. He wanted to keep her late because he and his partner were going to take the kids, she has 3, to a matinee of Frozen. So it's dinner time when I'm getting her. As we're driving home, she says she's hungry. I offered her my purse apple. I should have packed better car snacks for the ride, but she spies the golden arches out the window. She has a full-blown meltdown, demanding chicken nuggets. We get home and she's like blowing snot bubbles. She's so enraged. She howls her way through a bowl of leftover soup. Honestly, I think I was just being an asshole at this point because we have chicken nuggets in the freezer I could have made, but rewarding that kind of tantrum seemed like bad parenting. She hates me, I'm a terrible mum, dad would have let her eat chicken nuggets. She wore herself out crying. She was upset when she woke up this morning asking if I hated her because she ate meat. Obviously not. I spent the entire drive to school reassuring her that I'm not angry with her, but I'm surprised that she wanted them. I also reiterated I wasn't happy with her behaviour of screaming and hollering when she didn't get what she wanted. I understand that sometimes our emotions feel big, but we have to try and be in control of them, and not the other way around. But I am fucking pissed because I wasn't aware our hitherto vegan daughter was now eating meat, and I feel like that's a decision that I should have been informed about. I called him after she went to bed and he told me I was being uptight and didn't tell me because he knew I'd overreact. I'm controlling and I don't need to be privy to every single thing he does when our daughter is with him. I'm fucking mad. There are vegan options at McDonald's. He didn't have to feed her chicken, but since he did, I would have appreciated a heads up. Also, for a dude who gave me a hard time for craving Oreos, which are fucking vegan, while pregnant with her, kinda annoyed that he's shoveling crap in her mouth, hand over fist, taking her to McDonald's every week. I'd always felt when she became old enough to choose her diet, I'd let her make her own decisions. If she wanted to eat chicken nuggets, give her. But I feel wildly frustrated that he unilaterally made this choice. I feel like I should have been made aware. I try to keep him updated on her stuff when she's with me. Am I the arsehole? Now we're going to cover a couple of the comments. There's a couple of mixed ones in here as well, and then we're going to move to the update to see how it played out. So Star Buck says, honestly, you're the arsehole. I'd say he should have told you, but obviously you would have flipped your shit about it. Clearly, she wants to eat meat and she's old enough to make her own decisions, to some extent, in regards to what she wants to eat. When she's older and can comprehend more fully the nuances of the issue, she may choose to go back to veganism or vegetarianism, etc. Or maybe she won't, but she's an individual, not property, and she should be allowed to make some decisions for herself. I think you should choose to continue feeding her vegan food when she is with you because you are not ethically comfortable preparing or purchasing it, but be prepared she may not understand that and be somewhat resentful. But I don't think you should control whether or not she eats meat when she is not in your presence. Edit, honestly, you won't be able to control whether or not she does, so forcing it will only strain your relationship with her and potentially incite her to lie or sneak. And Oaxis says, not the arsehole, everyone seems to be focused on the vegan thing, but I don't think that's what this is actually about. It seems like he encouraged you to participate in a certain lifestyle when you were together. Vegan but also Oreoless, so presumably he was very health conscious, and then changed his mind. Which is fine, except the understanding was that you both had decided to raise your child the previous way, and he didn't inform you when that changed. It's about communicating with your co-parent. And for Zooey78 says, not the arsehole, however, Reddit is the worst place to come for advice on a topic like this. I'm not vegan or vegetarian, but I think it's absurd how much anger people here feel towards those who choose to be. Your ex is a hypocrite, and you are right, he made a unilateral choice about a major health and lifestyle associated decision that you made together. While you can't and shouldn't be able to control everything he feeds her, he absolutely should have checked with you when he was considering it, so you'd at least be informed. You generally sound well balanced and have a good attitude about allowing your child autonomy at an appropriate age. Your frustration is justified. And we'll have one more of Feast of the Mind saying, not the arsehole, it's infuriating to me that no one can see beyond the word vegan. It is 100% reasonable to expect him to let you know that your daughter has been eating meat. If only so, you know she'd like to change her diet. The fact that he is the one who pushed veganism in the first place only makes this extra shitty, and everyone insisting your ex is in the right is ignoring the fact that your child was worried that you hated her because of his miscommunication. Honestly, I'd be surprised if he hadn't instructed her not to tell you about it based on that reaction, and that is worrying. And now we move on to the updates. This is an update to a post I made almost 2 years ago about my ex-husband altering our daughter's diet to include meat without telling me. So the kiddo experimented with meat some. We're actually kind of fortunate this happened before quarantine and lockdowns because we could still visit my parents who are meat eaters and who do cook that kind of food and give us some better options to choose from. She liked beef but also really likes cows, favourite animal after cats at the moment, so decided she didn't want to eat that. She didn't like fish, which didn't take me as a huge surprise because 9-year-olds can be picky like that. The thing she likes the most is breakfast sausage. On Saturdays we often go to a local cafe and pick up breakfast, a new tradition we picked up last spring as a mental pick-me-up for us during quarantine. If she's feeling like it, she'll occasionally order something with sausages. I tried cooking breakfast for her during our last lockdown, but it was not a success. Oh, and eggs, which makes huge sense because like vegan egg substitutes are crap and grandma makes really good scrambled eggs. Probably the food I miss the most. We cook those together maybe once a week and she says she's getting pretty good at it. We still eat primarily plant-based because that's how I cook, and it's what is cheapest, letting us have some nice luxuries like eating out on Saturdays. So that was the resolution of the meat thing while she's in my custody. We're happy with the solution. And I think that's a very nice ending there. They picked up some traditions that they use during lockdown. I think that's just all around fantastic. I am curious what's going on with the husband. Is there any bad blood between the co-parents because of what happened in the past, or did they make it up? I can't see anything as yet in the comments, but we shall see. Let's move on to the next one. And our next story comes from Different Branch 4502. Am I the arsehole for refusing to help out my ex's family when we share kids? Ex and I were together for 10 years. We had 2 boys together. Our sons are 8 and 5 now. When our youngest was 2, she left me for her now husband. She was pregnant at the time too. A DNA test had to be done because, you know, we were sexually active up until I found out. Her daughter is his. We share custody of our boys and I made a clean break. I do not speak to her unless it's about our boys, and I do not communicate with her husband ever since he tried to push me out early on. Now they're struggling, I work and provide for my kids, I make the most of my time with them. I make sure they are fed, clothed and doing okay in school. They feel under pressure even though neither of them work. At first, ex tried to sue me for more child support and the judge told her that their circumstances had not changed, so no. Then she would use our app for co-parenting to ask for $50 once or twice a week while she had the boys. Then she would ask when the boys were with me. When she had the boys, I would ask what she would need it for, and 9 times out of 10, it was so they could buy diapers for their daughter or feed her and her husband, and I said no. I told her it was not my job to support her and her husband and their daughter. It was theirs. She told me I could never really stop supporting them as my son's family. I told her I support my sons because they are my children, but she was no longer entitled to me supporting her. Then it got to be an issue about gifts and the fact that I only ever ensure they call their mum or little sister for their birthdays, if I have them, and not that I get gifts, and the same with Christmas in that I facilitate a call for Christmas, they're with me, but don't send gifts. She then asked if I would start including their daughter in some things I do with the boys, and I said no. She and her husband are saying I'm a petty arsehole and that I should be looking after my son's family as if they were my own and should be working on becoming a family unit of sorts. But I have to be honest, and I can just about be civil for my kid's sake. I don't want to play happy families with that woman again or include her husband or any other kid she has. And she's pregnant again, which will probably also be my responsibility. I guess my only doubts come from the fact that I know my kids are caught up in this and I know a better man might be able to do it for them. Am I the arsehole? Holy moly, the entitlement in this post that she's requested that you include her child in various things after she screwed you over. I mean, what the hell? What's that about? Now don't get me wrong, because I always feel sorry for the children in these situations, but it's not OP's responsibility, is it? I mean, come on now. And they both think that you're a petty arsehole and you should be contributing as a family unit. What? Are you kidding me? Absolutely not the arsehole to me in this situation. But Most Disaster 79 says, not the arsehole, she shouldn't be having kids if she can't raise them. Your only priority is your sons, not her family. And Kai says, not the arsehole, and it's good that you set yourself up firm before your ex and her husband have a second child together. It's really concerning that neither of them work, yet have their own child plus partial custody of the two you share with your ex and are requesting further assistance from you. I'd recommend talking with a lawyer to discuss taking greater custody of your sons, since it looks like neither your wife or her husband have the means to take care of them. Your duty is to your sons, not for the two adults who can't/won't work to provide for themselves and their daughter. It's a sad fact, but honestly, you taking majority, if not sole custody of your sons could give them a reprieve to sort out their financial difficulties. And ZF says, and quotes, she told me I could never really stop supporting them as my son's family. And then says, not the arsehole, she sounds entitled as hell and wants to have her cake and eat it too. She screwed you over and left while she was pregnant with another man's baby, and now they're struggling financially with another one on the way. And then quotes, she then asked if I would start including her daughter in some things I do with the boys, and I said no. And says again, her daughter is not your family, this is beyond the pale. Dude, call your lawyer and request full custody if you feel like it would benefit you and your sons. I think you could definitely make a case here. Individual says, not the arsehole, try and get full custody. And we'll have one more from KTB saying, not the arsehole, far from it actually. Your ex cheated on you and left you. She made her bed. You're doing what you're legally entitled to. Heck, maybe a bit more. But you're under no obligation to support your adulterous ex, her child, and a dick of a hubby. You may want to look into getting custody of your sons, in my opinion. Wow. I don't understand the entitlement. What's going through that person's mind, the wife's mind, even the husband's mind in this case, that, she cheated on this person, had a child with him, and then is turning around and saying, oh, could you just give us some more money? And could you maybe take our child with you when you take our sons too, to do some activities? I mean, what the hell? And our next story comes from TA Tasty Food. Am I the arsehole for using hot sauce like an idiot? I love hot sauce. My favourite is Tabasco, but I just fucking love all hot sauce. For years, I've carried a mini bottle of Tabasco in my purse and some emergency mini packets in my wallet. I don't pull it out at restaurants because it's in poor taste in my culture, and most restaurants don't allow it. It's mostly for takeout, eating on the go, or for when I go to spice intolerant close friends' houses. I'm also weird in that I don't put it all over my food or mix it in. I put a few drops or squirt on individual bites of food because I like to alternate between spicy and regular bites. When I'm out at restaurants, I tend to hog the bottle of hot sauce, so I normally ask for 2 bottles so other people that enjoy hot sauce aren't inconvenienced. With that background info out of the way, here's what happened. COVID restrictions have loosened, so my husband and some friends of ours went out to a restaurant with outdoor dining to get some drinks and dinner. One of our friends brought her new boyfriend, Jim, that none of us have met before, and honestly, he seemed off from the start. He openly ogled myself and other women in our group. He made a joke about how people with Down syndrome are a drain to society after a friend updated us on how her daughter with Down syndrome was doing, and he consistently talked down to my friend. When our food arrived, I asked for a second bottle of hot sauce and began to do my thing with it. When he saw what I was doing, Jim gave me the dirtiest look, then asked why I was using hot sauce like an idiot. I briefly explained to him why, and he turned to my friend / his girlfriend and told her, "You didn't tell him your OP was an effing arse slur." I'm not gonna lie, I saw red. I told him off about everything wrong he had done throughout our get together, and that anywhere he was I would no longer be because he was so disgusting and disrespectful. I then flagged down our waiter, got a to-go box for my hardly touched meal, paid my husband and I's tab, and then walked out. I just couldn't be around someone like him. Later, I got a text from my friend telling me I humiliated her, and that all of our friends followed suit and left because they couldn't stand him either, as well as told her that they refused to be around him. She told me I alienated her and made everyone hate her. I feel like a total dick now because I didn't mean to hurt her. I just wanted to get away from her awful boyfriend because I caused an even bigger scene. She is now begging everyone to give him a second chance and none of us will. And she's been cursing us out and calling all of us heartless assholes. So, am I the arsehole for this? Wow, what a toxic guy, and you're absolutely not the arsehole in this situation. I mean, the girlfriend is absolutely for bringing this guy along. Why is she with him? Why is she with someone like that? She says that it's not usually like this, but this is someone that you just met, and he's already talking like this. He's already using this toxic, disgusting language. So I can only see it getting worse from there, right? I mean, I would never use this language, but if I'm meeting someone new, I'm usually very quiet and reserved until I get to know someone before I open up and let my true self go. But this guy, he's come out the gate straight away and is already being toxic. Says a lot about this person, right? Wow, I don't blame anyone for getting up and walking out. I would certainly get up and walk out from the very start when he made the first initial joke. Oh man, that's sending me over the edge. But Evocative Enigma says, not the arsehole, oh my god, that guy deserves to be told off. How is that everyone else in the group didn't and thought his words were okay? Your friend with the daughters, how is it that she didn't immediately at him? I would have gone off as well and made sure that my friends know not to call anyone an arse slur, even if they are mentally challenged. That is not something to call someone. I'm a caretaker for my mentally challenged cousin. That word is basically treated like a slur as well. Glad they all followed suit, but it seriously shouldn't have even gotten to that point before someone told him off. And she seems like he is a decent guy who needs a second chance. No, if she chooses that arsehole over a friend group, she needs to be distanced from as well. And Tiniest Ghost says, not the arsehole, your friend's boyfriend humiliated her because he's not able to keep inappropriate thoughts to himself like most other adults, and openly ogling at other women is the icing on the cake. Her boyfriend isn't entitled to a second chance, and it's pretty telling that he's not on his knees begging for forgiveness. If he's not seeing the problems, he'll just act like this whenever it suits him. ETA, keep eating your hot sauce however you like it. His behaviour is the problem. And Milo says, not the arsehole, your friend humiliated herself by bringing a trash human being. Lol. Onto the hot sauce. As long as you don't hog the bottle from anyone else who wants the hot sauce, then you're fine. Live your best life, amigo. And we'll have one more from Jeepers Creepers saying, not the arsehole, I'm also a hot sauce fiend. I have to say that holding a bottle in one hand to douse every bite of food is a little quirky, but it doesn't make you the arsehole or an idiot. By contrast, calling anyone an arsehole sure does. You did your friend a favour by clearly communicating your feelings about her loser boyfriend and giving the others the confidence to follow suit. If this consensus of disapproval from her friends doesn't make her see the light, nothing will, but that's not your problem. ETA, I'm assuming you're a woman. My apologies if incorrect. And as another hot sauce loving woman, I found that a certain type of insecure man feels threatened or emasculated by the fact that I can handle spicier food than him. It's something I've never understood. Like I don't think a woman would ever be less of a woman if a man liked, I don't know, chocolate more than her. Based on my past experience, I'm assuming that's what triggered this guy's reaction to OP. Interested to know if others had similar experience about weird perceived gender roles of food. And you know, I totally forgot about the whole hot sauce thing after reading this guy and how toxic he was. I totally went off and forgot about the hot sauce, but I'm a massive hot sauce fan as well, so I totally get where this person is coming from. And like OP says, they don't use it at restaurants and they don't pull out like at the table and start dousing their food. Or I myself like different levels of hot sauce. Sometimes I like a real hot habanero hot sauce. Sometimes I just like a Frank's hot sauce because I find that one really flavorful and I like to mix it in with chicken and all that kind of stuff. Oh, I'm getting really hungry now. Chicken. And our next story comes from username. Am I the arsehole for making my wife choose between me and her best friend? I'm male 36 and preparing for my upcoming surgery at the end of May. I have a respiratory condition that I have been suffering from, and my wife has been very supportive and accommodating of all my needs. She has endured so much by shouldering this burden with me, and I can never describe how supportive she's been with everything that's been going on with me. The problem is that her best friend's wedding is at the end of May, specifically on the 27th, and my surgery takes place on the exact same date. Now, 27th was not the original date of her friend's wedding, it was supposed to be on May 18th, but got changed. Her friend informed us about it on short notice, and my wife wanted to go, but it's an 8-hour trip since the wedding will be held in the groom's hometown. My wife and I discussed this, and I bluntly told her I needed her there for my surgery. She told me that that's her best friend and this will hopefully be her only wedding, and she wanted to attend. She asked if I could get a friend as my support, but I just didn't think this was right. I was even puzzled that she asked me to get a substitute while she goes to her friend's wedding. I asked her if her friend's wedding was more important than my health. She argued that there was nothing wrong with it and I won't need her since the medical team will take care of me. Then she said that by refusing I was making her choose between me and her best friend. We went back and forth on this argument and she insisted she wanted to attend her friend's wedding. I told her she was being unreasonable and I never expected her to prioritize a wedding over my health. She yelled aloud, "What do you want me to do? I might lose my friend over this," then stopped talking to me. I think I handled this badly and acted in an ungrateful manner, but I think she's the one who doesn't understand the difference since my surgery isn't an emergency, and if her best friend is a good friend, then she'd understand, right? So am I in the wrong for what I said? And we'll start off with Butt 5000 saying, "Not the arsehole in sickness and in health does not have a temporary suspension due to BFF's wedding clause." And Realistic Voice says, "I'm going to say no one's an arsehole here because you're totally reasonable for wanting her there. She's also reasonable for not wanting to miss a once in a lifetime event for her best friend. It also sounds like she's experiencing some caregiver fatigue. Has she had to give up other things to care for you? Spending time with friends, going on trips, etc. If so, she might be feeling a little burnt out and like she really needs to do something for herself. And if that's so, I think you at least try to arrange to have someone else support you for your surgery. That will go a long way." For a lot of caregivers, that constant stress of having to put their own needs second can be really draining. And Darcy Knit says, "You're the arsehole. Since this seems like an inpatient surgery, you're asking your wife to miss a wedding so she can sit in the waiting room of the hospital. She can't perform the surgery, all she can do is sit and wait. When my best friend needed surgery, she asked me to take her spouse out of the hospital because she didn't want him there. You start out by saying how supportive your wife has been, so the fact that she wants to go to the wedding suggests that she doesn't feel she needs to be at your surgery. The fact that you're insisting she's there when she's not needed suggests that maybe she's more supportive of you than you are of her. Given how hospitals have jumped into the 21st century with technology and allow people to be present even if they are remote, there's nothing your wife can't do from a distance. You mentioned how giving your wife is. Maybe you should give something back to her and not make her miss her best friend's wedding." And we'll have one more from Irethcat saying, "Soft, you're the arsehole, but you're the arsehole. She's been supportive, you said as much, so it isn't as if she just doesn't care. And you will be in surgery, meaning that she'll miss her friend's wedding to wait in the waiting room. Now this is under the assumption that she'll be coming back the next morning, since it's an 8-hour drive, and not spending several days there, because that might change things. Because she's been so supportive and because she seems afraid that if she misses the wedding she'll lose a friend, I'm wondering if she's been neglecting her friendship to be there for you. Either way, it sounds like she truly feels she cannot miss the wedding, and judging by her otherwise support, it is a really big deal to her and her best friend. Edit, also if she's been supporting you for however long, it's completely possible she's burnt out and needs this." Wow. Now what do you guys think of this selection of stories? What are your verdicts on the stories? If you choose to share them, please don't feel any pressure to actually do it, just if you want to of course. And just a huge thank you for spending 20 minutes out of your day with me and getting involved with the channel. As always, it means the absolute world. You make huge positive leaps on this channel for being here and being involved. Thank you so much for being you. And if you want to support the channel further, you absolutely can, but again, never any pressure to do so by clicking that join button down below for YouTube or clicking the link in the description for Patreon and joining up there. Thank you so much for your love, support and time, and I will see you in the next one. Take care guys, much love.